Well, I guess going to be doing another update this soon. I mean, this is unbelievable. I'm telling you, it is just, woo, I got to laugh. It is a laugh. This is Zane. Thanks for tuning in to this edition of Man with the Show. Of course, you've seen from the title. This is the Deposition. Now, we're not going to go deep into it. Yellow Flash had a bit of a story. He said he wasn't going too deep to it, and he just pointed some things out. Tonight, it's probably tonight or tomorrow, Nick Rekieta on Rekieta Law channel will have the entire, it's a lot of pages. I think the deposition alone was like 88 pages alone. But there's like so much other paperwork on there. It's just, it's amazing. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through what stand out the most to me. Now, you may argue, it says, oh, Zane, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Well, I'm still flipping through these. So it's like I'm going page to page, and then I want to go read it as Nick does when he does his show. So at least I can catch a second person that is a little bit more experienced in the law to explain it on there. So at least I can understand it better, and hopefully we may do another show about this, but we'll see what happens on that. We know, like I said, if you didn't know the Vic Mignogna case, Vic is suing several people, some of his co-workers, some of the companies. You're doing Funimations on this one. Monica Rial, her boyfriend Ron Toye, Jamie Marchi. Basically, you know, there have been sexual accusations, which has been unfounded. There's been no proof or anything of the nature of the situation. And, you know, we discussed yesterday that they want to attack the GoFundMe page. The GoFundMe page is well over 200,000 now. It's been moved up to 300,000 to as far as the target. And Monica and Ron don't like that. They just really, really don't like that. But this is the one that gets me. And it just, you know, the couple pages I'm going to show, and it's just insane what they're talking about here. Now, when you look at the introduction on there, you know, it gives you the basis on there. But the first thing they talk about, you know, besides the sexual, is just in, you know, the introduction, is they start talking about Nick Rekieta. They just really, really hate Nick. I mean, wow. I mean, they just really want to go after this GoFundMe page, you know, and basically they just want to just go after it, and they you know, they wanted to pay their bill, their legal bills. I mean, let me tell you something. They put themselves into this position. You know, if Monica felt that she was sexually assaulted, she should have gone to the police. Plain and simple. Plain and simple, which basically we know it's all have to do with a jelly bean, which the cops would probably laugh as well. You know, people have the mentality of when they hear certain things, something said, or if you give a hug or a kiss, and they just start to freak out these days. You know, when you look at, you wonder if that's what happened. There's a anime series called Vandred, and it's basically, the whole premise is that there's two worlds, one of men and one of women, and basically they just stay apart. And they, you know, the opposite thinks that, you know, like the men think that women are the monsters and all this, and you're wondering if this was the start of it because of stuff like this. No, let's put that aside. But generally, you know, when you hear stuff like this and they're just going after other people, I mean, I think there is a mention in here of Yellow Flash also, and somebody else. I think they have on there because they just don't like any about these people reporting about this, that they're saying like, well, this is what it is, you know, and they want now Nick to come out to basically to have a what do they call it, a deposition of this whole, you know, like an hour and a half deposition for what, you know, his show would be considered almost, you know, it's pretty much like a news show. Same thing like this. We're giving you information. This is like a news show. We're offering you this information to you. Same thing with Yellow Flash. Same thing with that Umbrella guy. Same thing with Hero High. And same thing with a lot of shows here. We're giving you information. We're just like any other reporter on any news network. You start to attack the media, the new alternative media, let me refresh that, because you don't like what they're talking about you. And this is just some ridiculous things that they just say. I mean, it's, they just want to get this freaking TCPA won. And, there's still a lot of questions that I have to ask. And going through it, I mean, you're looking, one of the first things you see on this, they start to say that they start talking about the Broly character, and that, they said, well, it made 88 million worldwide. They make it sound like, that they were involved getting that 88 million wide. Well, unfortunately, most of the other world don't use English dub. The ones that do have English dub have other actors who dub that for it, depending on what country it is. And in Japan, they don't do an English dub; they do a Japanese dub. So, a lot of the money that came from overseas is from Japan and from England, and it has nothing to do with anybody here that voiced any of the movie itself. And they tried to interject this on there, and it's, they didn't realize is that basically you had people talking about this and interjecting their 2 cents in it. An old friend of mine used to say, it's an A-B conversation, see your way out. And basically, in this case, this is, you've gotten yourself involved in the A, and you've gotten yourself in the B conversation, and now you ain't seen your way out of it, because basically you've just got caught and unraveled around the whole entire case. When it comes to when it comes to things like this, when you have trials with accusations, you have to have facts and evidence. They throw a lot of sentences, and basically stuff from Twitter, from Reddit, from many different sites on there, and they try to throw this in as evidence, and it's not. It's just people talking. It's just really, really talking. And then the other thing, to get into this is that, this other page that they said, well, he raised $200,000. How come he's not suing everybody? The money they're not using all the money on there, and they want him to just use all the money all at one time. But that's not how it works. Basically, if they're using up all their own money, is because they're filing stupid paperwork. I mean, really insane paperwork like this to the courts, and that's costing money. And of course, their lawyers are going cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Just keep that money coming, keep that money coming. But they don't realize is that, I'm not saying it's a win or lose situation. We still got to go through the case. It's you got to go through the legal process. But I'm surprised, that the judge hasn't really slammed Monica and Montoya yet, and probably that's going to happen in August. That's probably going to be that August hearing, because some of the stuff in here is just really ridiculous. And here's the one that just really, and I cannot believe this. Well, in a way, I can believe it. Now, there's a word I can't use because, unfortunately, I'll get slammed by YouTube. Let's call it that leader from World War II, his nickname. Okay? And it seems like they kept asking him, was he ever if Vic ever had that nickname. Now, there's supposedly a story that in the Reservoir Rangers, that's the fan club on that website, a person or two or something like that had called him that on there, according to Vic, on this deposition. and that was a long time ago. But I have never heard him been called this. I mean, I didn't even know in the Reservoir Rangers if he was ever called that. But the thing about it is that and they ask him. He said, "Oh, have you had any other nicknames?" Vic. His name is Victor. Have you had any others? Did your mother ever call you this? I mean, you could pause this a second and look at this and read it. You know what they're trying to do here. And we discussed this yesterday, and this is going on every time. When there's someone who they don't agree with, that basically they're trying to smear or anything like that, what is the first thing they call you? They're trying to call you alt-right. They're trying to put you in that same boat. They're putting everybody else in. So they can say, oh, he's bad. So he's part of that group with the orange bad guy. We don't like that orange bad guy. So Vic is part of that as well. Ooh, he's all right.
Oh, wait, you're serious? Let me laugh even harder.
And it just gets me. I mean, wow. When we started reading this, I had to read this twice, and I'm laughing. I'm just laughing. The other people that I've shown this to, and they're laughing as well. And, it's like, how do they get away with this sometimes? And it just gets me that this is going on, and they allowed this deposition to go the way it went. But of course we'll see this from the judge and see what happens on that. One of the last things on this, I just wanted to bring it up, is show you how bad this was with Rekieta, that they just really want to depose him. They just want to bring him up and just prove that, oh, Vic and Nick, they worked together to put this together. They were consorting together and all that, Vic was told about the GoFundMe, and he was okay with it. Nick put it together. So what? How many of these GoFundMe pages are put together for many, many people, that are going through situations similar to this and other crises and all that. But, you get situations like this where, you look at this situation and you have to say to yourself, where are they going with this? What are they trying to do? And Nick said last night, he was like saying, you can keep going on for that, keep trying, that he's not, going to really respond to this situation. If he has to go through legal matters, he'll handle it through legal matters. I just can't wait for August just to see what is going to happen with this judge, because this deposition is just ridiculous. I want to see the other depositions and the questions asked and how they answer, because we already know the situations with Ron Torrey says, well, there's all these 100 people, 100 women that basically said they were sexually harassed. So, well, can we get the names and numbers? No, we can't give it to you. We want to keep those private. Really, you want to keep those private? It just amazes me. But I would say tonight, check out Nick. I believe it's tonight. Nick Rekieta's show, Rekieta Law. He should give you a full coverage of every page, the enthralling pages of this. Yellow Flash has a little bit more detailed on it. I just wanted to give you a quick little glimpse because we're still reading it. Because there's some other pages that are just like they just grasps on me as well. But this is the thing that just grabbed me the most, especially not only the Rekieta thing, that they're trying to push him as alt-right. And, this has got to stop. It really, really does. If you don't agree with somebody, it's okay. You don't agree with somebody. But when you start to label them racist and this and that, it just puts into mind the mentality, the the anger that some of these people have, that they've just gone literally off the deep end. I mean, literally off the deep end. You know, I look through Twitter every once in a while and I see what's going on in there, but I don't answer back. On our comment site, we've been decent. There are a couple people that just basically they are kick Vic, and they've said some things, and I think now people are starting to respond to those as well. So we'll see what happens on that on our comment line below. But for you, comment below. Tell me how you feel looking at this. And like I said, we just only gave you a couple, let's say, we gave you just a taste of what is to come. And like I said, Nick is going to go through every single page of this because it is just a big soap opera joke. You know, it's like, you know, you can't get anybody to really truly write this. I mean, it just, you know, you would think that, my God, did someone write this for a movie or something to that nature? Because that's how it feels like. It's the worst B movie that you ever think you ever heard of. So we're also on mindsandgab.com. Also do apologize for that sound in the background. Our air units are still going. It is a very warm day today. And of course outside they're doing some work. So that's setting off those little bell alarms that you're hearing in the background. We try to turn them off, but unfortunately when it goes off multiple times, the alarm finally goes off, notifying us that someone is close to our studio doors. So we do apologize for that. So remember, 4 words: subscribe, like, support, share. We have one more episode today. We're only doing 2, and we're doing it, and if you notice, we're doing it at the 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock spot. It is the slow time period. We're gauging where our strongest viewership is. You know, so if you don't see a 5 o'clock show, we'll be on the 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock spot, and vice versa. You might not see a 10 o'clock show, but there's a 5 and 8. Or you might have all 3, whereas, you know, that's where we get a lot of our viewership, which, like yesterday, we did 3 shows, and we did get a lot of viewership on that. I think the upload over at BitChute is up, and it's doing very well already. So we'll see you a little bit later. We're going to discuss a little bit more on certain other things, so hang in there. And thanks for tuning in. Thank you. And thank you to the new subscribers that have joined us here. You know, thank you for supporting us. Thank you for sharing this video. Please do share. Share the Yellow Flash one as well. Thank you very much. And also when the Nick Recato one comes out, share that one as well. And do tune in to Nick's live stream tonight. And it should be tonight. If not, it's tomorrow. So we'll see you a little bit later. Bye-bye now.